Well, that was just straight weird. Can you hear me now? Let's see. I just screw up the stream. Cool. So I don't know why that the mic was completely turned off in the streaming software. So it's the first time that's happened. It's always just been on when I've gone and done it, but whatever. It's fixed now. But, yeah, so as I was trying to say when I had no mic audio going is that, yeah, I just need the 39 Briareus helms, and then we have all the Abyssea stuff done for Almace. Just need to do all the NM stuff, and then just get a few more heavy metal plates and cinder, and then all the stuff that, you know, happens after that. One, No, this is the armband. Light. Yep. Luckily it's easy, I just don't like all the running around. I believe that was coming. Huh, so I lost hate on the one ranger I aggroed? Interesting. Remember why all the gigas pop. Someone else farming this? Here we go. The heck? Yeah, Void Watch is always good. Don't remember that one. Let me look up. So I have a minute anyway. Because I don't remember which, you know, what was it, Voidwalker and M's you have to kill. Those are all easy. Gargantua, that's one of the, yeah, it starts getting annoying. Megalo Buggard isn't bad. Oh yeah, I remember him. The Poogle. I remember him being quite annoying back in the day. Ooh, what am I doing? No, it's just 1.5. It's 1.5 K heavy metal plates. And then it's 60 either Rift Cinder or Rift Dross. And that'll make it 99. And then you'll need, what is it, the Riftborn Boulders. You're talking to make it, like Afterglow, 99 version? I thought it was just like 1K Rift Cinder or whatever. But yeah, I would not recommend. I recommend getting it 99 and then from there immediately making it 119 and then Afterglow it. That's the cheaper and easier process than making it Afterglow and then dealing with Obero, making it easier later. Yeah, don't make it Afterglow at 99. Just make it 119. And then make it Afterglow. It's much easier to get the 10,000 Riftborn boulders than it is to get whatever the other items are to make Relic, Empyrean, or Mythics Afterglow at 99. Definitely not. Yeah, Nirvana I remember was just kind of annoying to do that. I know I had so much Crewer on my main, I just ended up using Bruise to get that done. Just made a damage taken set. Just gathered up all the mobs that I could in Abyssea, popped the brew, and then just spammed Garland of Bliss. And then rinse repeat. I think I went through about 40 brews to finish. Am I going the right way? Should be going east. There's Marvin. Yep. Actually change my weapon again to something for proccing as opposed to just smashing the enemy. I mean, it's not that bad besides just the running around. Like, I don't think it's bad at all, except for just the extensive running. And without any way to get around efficiently for these pops, except for movement speed. That's the only annoying part in my opinion. Well, a lot of just other NMs are just much closer together and where you need to like farm whatever items or whatever NMs. Exactly. If you could use your mount, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. darkness. We got a message. So I need 39. So, if all goes well, we need to do 19 more loops to be done. It's likely not going to happen, but probably about 24, 25 more loops. You definitely want to have either Ninja or War for proc jobs. Definitely makes a substantial difference. Just everyone's out here trying to beat Briareus today. Two helms. Yep, double drops are nice. It always just sucks when you get a single. And then inevitably, at least for one of the NMs you have to do, you'll need only 1 drop left, and then it'll always... When you're at 2 drops, it'll drop 1. When you're at 1 drop, when you need 1 drop, it'll drop 2. At least that's been my experience, like 80% of the time. I keep forgetting to change my weapons. My favorite job? That would have to be ninja. I've just always liked ninja. I've always just preferred like PD jobs, and then just ninja's just so versatile. And what it can do, you can kind of tank with it, PD with it, you can nuke with it. The only thing you can't really do with ninja is heal. If I had to pick one job that's definitely my favorite, I'd have to go with Ninja. And this has been that way since all the way back. That was 30. It's all the way back to 75 days. Nice. Dog hair flying in my face. Yeah, this is, if you have multiple characters, it makes this much better because you just farm up like 4 pops, go to the next area, farm 4 pops, and then pop it 4 times. Makes this whole process go much faster. Is it possible to blue effectively without gear swaps? I would lean with no. It depends what you're doing. If you wanted to set up like a certain set, like I can see it possible if you're only gonna melee to set up a, you know, obviously a melee set and only use that. Or if you're planning on just nuking, just using that. But I mean, blue's a job, since it's like a jack of all trades, it can do all kinds of things. You really do need just a lot of different gear to play it optimally. I don't really get why a lot of people, like, they recommend, you know, oh, for new and returning players, you should, you know, level up blue and get blue geared because, you know, it's a jack of all trades. It's useful for, you know, so many different things, and I'm not disagreeing with that. But the fact that you need so much gear and it requires so much work to get it ramped up, I don't think it's, you know, a good recommendation for a first job to get geared up and set up for. That's my personal opinion, though. Because, I mean, you pretty much need gear swaps to be effective on almost any job. If you're not gear swapping, you're not playing anywhere near to what you could be optimally. But I mean, you can do it with almost any job. Some jobs obviously can get away with it better than others, depending on what you're doing. This one's the shield. Getting the weapon change. Yeah, that's been why I kind of stopped doing a lot of stuff with blue, because I've been trying to get it ready, and I wanted to get like Almace. I wanted to get a bunch of accessories and stuff. So the plan is once Almace is done, is to really start ramping up blue. Since that's what everyone voted on for me to get set up. A lot. You need like fast cast set, magic attack set, magic accuracy set, TP set. You actually kind of need multiple TP sets to be really optimal. You know, depending on where you're at in haste and how much dual wield. Weapon skill sets for all the different weapon skills. I know you mainly use Savage Blade, but I mean, obviously you can. There's Savage Blade, CDC. I think this was Extraction, or I don't know, whatever the blue exclusive weapon skill is. Only comes with Mythic. I'm trying to think if there's any other weapon skills you really want to do on blue. I think it's mainly just those 3. I don't even know. I'm trying to think how many sets I have for Summoner. It's an idle sets. Blood Pack ability sets. Multiple different weapon skill sets. I have spell duration sets. Cure set. Well, yeah, it is. That's if you use Windower and stuff. I mean, I get the point of gear swaps, but I prefer playing games in their, you know, original state rather than always using add-ons and stuff. It's always just been my preference for almost any game. If you're using add-ons in third-party programs, you're technically cheating. I don't really have a problem with other people doing it as long as they're not using it in exploitive ways. When you're using it in exploitive ways and stuff that's clearly an issue, that's when I have a problem. Someone would wave back, but I think you ran away before target you and like said, here, wave back in real life. Would like to be more lively, but I am just exhausted. I could go to sleep right now. I really do hate my current work schedule. Leaving the house at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm not a morning guy at all. Well, I remember I did briefly want to get it, and that was back in like Abyssea days, because I was just getting sick of hitting 2 different macros to change all the gear to do different things. So it's like if I wanted the weapon skill, I'd have to hit two macros. And then I would go back to TP, I had to hit 2 TP moves. Or two TP. To go back to TP gear, I needed to hit 2 macros. And that was mainly for like Ninja, because that was, like I said, one of my favorite jobs to play. And that just got really annoying. And I remember I briefly was starting to get into it just for that, because I'm like, hitting 2 macros to have to fully change your gear is absolutely absurd. And then after quitting and coming back, they now have gear sets. So it's like, hey, you solved my problem. Alright, I'm gonna move on. We'll just have to farm the shield. Unless did I get one and miss it? Nah, I didn't get a shield. We'll get one when I loop back around. Dude, it's brutal leaving my house at 5:30 in the morning. Like I said, I'm not a morning guy. I'm definitely a night owl. And so, like, going to bed at 9:30 at night, 9 to 10:30 at night, and waking up at 5:30 is not my cup of tea. I'm gonna be happy when we're done on the Eastern Shore. And then I come back and I'll be actually local again, and then can actually leave my house at 6:30, 7 o'clock, like a normal human being. We'll say this, the mileage expense almost makes it worth it. Not quite. 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. Yeah, but how many days a week? My guess is you're a nurse or something like that. Why am I killing this guy? I should pop first. Like, I could do a schedule like that, especially if you're only doing it 3 or 4 days a week. Truck driving. Okay, that makes sense. But again, so you're doing it 5 days a week. So you're working 60 hours a week? Oof. Hope you get OT out of that. Sword. Ew. So is it your choice to work 60 hours, or is that just like what the company's requiring? So I can see if you're choosing to just keep like going and doing extra work to make additional money. I can see the point in that. Ugh. And 60 hours a week at a flat rate? I hope that rate's a decent rate then to make it worth it. I mean, that makes sense. Customers, yeah, want the work done. Paying customers, and they don't really care as long as, you know, whatever's getting done that they're paying for. That's not bad. Ouch. Well, I had an odd number anyway, but... What are we at? 14. You know what? There is the sprinter's drink. Might as well make use of that to speed this up. Especially if he's dropping it occasionally. Yeah, the decimation axe is pretty nice. And yeah, I totally get it. Like, I don't have the time to play as much as I like to. Like, Like, when I get on and stream Thursday, since I've been on this, the Windows 10 project where I gotta travel, like, over 100 miles a day, this is, like, 40% of my playtime every week when I'm streaming for the most part. I might be on, but, like, I was on recently, and I actually leveled Pup on my main. And so I was, like, on all the time, but it was, like, I was just AFK, skilling up Puppet Master skill and stuff like that. So it's like, that's not really playing. So, like, I will be super happy once, like, we finish getting all the machines upgraded, because once that's done, we'll be back local. It's probably going to be November, December, though, before that happens. Not that I need it, but I'm just curious. It doesn't have Treasure Hunter on it. Not that I would take it since I have this. But that was always nice when you had a Taru sash that had a Treasure Hunter on it back in the day. Ooh. Hey David, welcome to the stream. So it's going all right. This trekking in a big freaking circle is annoying, but other than that, it's fine. Didn't change weapons again. Great when you get the proc on the first go. Hate Abyssea? I actually enjoy Abyssea. I'm not sure why. There is like a large section of the FFXI community that really just dislikes Abyssea. I know a bunch of people left then because that's when it kind of switched from horizontal progression to vertical progression. Which that I did have kind of a problem with, but... No, I don't think it's all that bad. It's just time consuming. Although, was it Mythic's even more time consuming in my opinion, depending on, well, I mean, I think it's just, no, it's just more time consuming, I think, period. Obviously easiest is Relics. Okay, yeah, I can totally understand that. I've definitely had some irritations doing it. Depending on what you're doing on Asura, yes, it can be quite irritating. But there's a lot of different things on Asura that can just be irritating because it's overpopulated. Like, getting some camps during XP window is absolutely frustrating and stuff. I just find it absurd that these range anywhere from 500k to a mil. It's like a 10-minute pop NM that has like a 70% drop. The drop sells for like 500k to a mil. It's absurd. I mean, I've seen it down as low as like 300k before, but I mean, even still. Why would you throw away that much gil for a 10-minute pop NM? Just so you don't have to try and compete? And even there's, if you go at certain times, like I know for a while when I was actually, you know, prepping for that, I would come home from work and for about 2 hours would do nothing but farm that NM and just send the pops to myself. And there was like no competition most of the time at those time frames. I mean, depending when you went, there was competition. But it was just like, I don't get it. Yeah, that's always annoying too. I've talked about it and I'm still planning at some point. I don't know if I'm going to just do it. It's at some point or wait until the thing comes around. But I am going to probably move to another server at some point. And when I do, I'm going to actually make a video. And the plan is I'm going to at some point just have raw footage showing shouts. And just showing the absurdity of nothing with people. There's definitely gaps where I've seen for like 10-15 minutes. Nothing but people trying to sell crap. It's like, really? It does get absurd. And then the Gil seller shouts right now for, you know, trying to sell Gil on whatever website. I really don't get how SC has it set up. Somehow filters to block a lot of that stuff. Or get the, get them banned sooner. What was it? I think it was either Odin or Bahamut was the two I was looking at. I don't know. I would still do more research before I actually make the switch, but those were the two. Nice. Those were the two I was leaning towards. funny thing is, when I first moved to Asura, it wasn't like what it is now. Like, vast majority of the time when you were in town, you would see actually content shops. Now it's people trying just to sell content, just so they're, again, benefiting themselves. Blue, decimation was the blue crop. Well, and then the problem is that because it's like, dang. So part of the problem with it is, you know, it didn't used to be that way, and then when people started trying to merc and just sell stuff, you know, other people started doing it more and more, and just the more it happens, sadly, the more it gets accepted. And you'll see people start, like, yelling and pushing back about it, but typically when they're doing it in an unproductive way, and they're getting all aggressive and angry and being like, oh, you're ruining the game and stuff, and it's like, yes, you have valid points, but the way you're going about it isn't very... It's not very constructive, although it's hard to say what would be a constructive way to push back against it. I mean, I just avoid it. Most of the time I have chat filters up. I obviously don't buy or sell anything from people, and I mean, that's... But everyone wants to try and take whatever's the easy road, even though it's actually hurting the community. And that's good. You don't really want to. It takes away from the game experience. Running the wrong way. Because, like I've said before in videos that I've made where I've just been talking about 11, I mean, the best thing that is the experience. The journey is the best thing. Not just, oh, I have all this cool equipment I can equip. It's like, okay, that's cool and all, but I mean, that only does so much. I mean, the point of the game, in my opinion, is having the journey and going through, and even just, you know, the people you meet and encounter and stuff like that. I mean, that's what it was more about back in the day, back in 75 days. It was all about the journey, getting... Like, it was basically two completely different games. It was getting to 75 and then endgame at that point. Because getting to 75 back in the day, I mean, unless you were going hardcore, that took months. Oh, this month's ambuscade was absolutely absurd. Basically all I did, I would just go and shout. I was literally shout for 3 summoners. I never wanted Nirvanas. I mean, I'm not going to turn it like someone would be like, oh, I have a Nirvana or whatever. I'm just like, okay, and, you know, invite you. Because I know a lot of people would shout for, you know, oh, they're always shouting for Nirvanas, or they always want, oh, you know, like Rima R15s or whatever. For this month, nope, I would just shout for 3 summoners, Corsair, a Red Mage, and a tank. And it's like, really, it's... The tank just needs to have a good amenity set, and that's really it. I only wiped out of all the... And I only did 1 run a day. Out of all the pickup groups I've done doing that setup, I only wiped once, and the one time was the Corsair didn't actually have the ring equipped that buffs rolls. So the summoner's damage was kind of crap. But all we did was just reset 2 hours, go back in and do it again. All you do is just have the tank, you go in, buff up, tank goes in, grabs the mob. Paying more attention to the proc. Just had the tank run in, grab it, grab the frog. Red Mage would then use a Stein, and I even did it on Red Mage. And my Red Mage on her doesn't even have like any gear. Stein would stick silence 100%. You just, use that, silence it, at that point cast Die of 3, and as soon as silence is on, the summoners just, Astral Flow and Astral Conduit both strike it to death and win. And I even won with a couple parties that literally had no Nirvana summoners in it. It's utterly, this month was an utter joke. Well, the thing about that is the game's actually, more people are coming back. I mean, yeah, you have people that are buying stuff, and yeah, they're not going to be long-termers, but the fact that basically, they do censuses, but the number of people is actually going up, so. Which is good for the game. Yeah, I just love when it's like, I think was it last month, people were shouting for R15, and it was like, I've done this ambuscade before, R15 Rimas wasn't even a thing, and people were clearing it without too much difficulties, and now you're requiring R15s? It's like, I think you just want to be carried. Whoever's the person shouting. Yeah, that's the thing. If you were doing like a Mew group, you just needed summoners who just had Kate Sith. Nice, there's the armband. You didn't even they didn't even need to be geared or anything. Got enough macro space. I should just make a macro for movement speed. I'm gonna be happy once I take some time and free up her space, and then I can actually make some more macro sets for different things. Like Cloud Splitter. Like actually a magic attack set for war and other things. And I can understand for some content people wanting Idris because it is just so strong, but people definitely make, having Idris a requirement when it's not really. 900 Geo can handle most things. Yeah, I've had that happen too back when I was getting Geo set up before I had an Idris on my main. It's like, do you have Idris? No. Because they don't, like I said, they want it just to be easier. Whatever's just going to make it easiest for them. Again, if you're doing like a tier 4, I can see, requesting and requiring an Idris for like a tier 4 or Order of Courage, but for like some of these ambuscades requiring, I mean, I've seen people shout for Idris Geo for like D ambuscades. I'm like, really? You need an Idris Geo to do a D ambuscade? Yeah. Well, actually, I kind of had the reverse happen. You know, like, people, like, you send a tell them, they basically, like, give you a job interview to see if you're, you know, well geared enough to join a party. And I was making my one ambuscade group. I literally had a dude, he was like, hi. And I just responded back, or I think he did, like, the auto-translate hello. I responded back with just hi. And then he's like, what's your party setup? I just ignored him. I'm like, no. Like, and at that point, I only needed Summoner. And like I said, I was just doing the Tank, Red Mage, Corsair, and 3 Summoners. Like, if you missed my shouts before, and then, you know, he's trying to be like, oh, well, I'm like a ridiculous Summoner. I'm like, I don't care. I've cleared this with all Summoners not having Nirvana. Like, I don't need you. And then he ended up being like, oh, well, never mind, not interested. I'm like, dude, I wasn't interested in you in the first place. You're trying to grill me about what's my job set up. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time talking to you. I'm like, I'd rather party with new players than elitists, because at least new players are open to strategies and trying things and stuff, rather than these people that just want to have everyone have the best gear and make it easy. I just found it hilarious when I didn't tell him the party setup. He's just like, oh, I'm not interested. I'm like, no. I'm like, I was already not interested. Now it's dirty. We got the message. Pearl capped at this point? Nope. Not sure what you mean. You mean like someone makes a shell, they don't hang around long and then disappear? Like the shell breaks? I assume that's what you're saying. I mean, I can't even really say. I haven't really done much with Link Shell since coming back. I mean, there were some that definitely stuck around for a long time, I mean, 75 days. As for now, I mean... I was in a shell for a brief period of time, but just several things just didn't really work out for me, in my opinion. Just, I was too busy when they always did events was conflicting with me doing other things. So I very rarely came to events. When I did come to events, I didn't really get anything out of it. Like, they would do Omen, and they'd be like, oh, you want to come, you know, we're going and doing Omen bosses. And it's like, okay. And then it's like, then they're like, oh, well, you can't lot any of the stuff because we have specific people that's taking the drops. And so it's like, okay, I would be better off going and using my canteens to solo, because that way I'm getting cards, XP, and getting all the crystals myself. It's like, what's even the point of me going with you guys? Especially if I can't lotting anything. I'd be better off going with pickup groups, because then I can at least lot stuff and have a chance of getting things. It's like, yeah. And then just some other stuff happened, and I'm like, no, I'm done. I'll go back to just soloing stuff and pickup groups. I haven't been, like I said, I haven't been on any shells, so I can't see that. I have been on that where, like, no one talks, but that's because they're all on Discord. And I don't have a problem with Discord, but it's like, I always don't want to just get on and be, like, chit-chatting back and forth, especially with people I haven't really built much rapport with. Switch weapons again. Darkness. Dagger katana. I would personally prefer that. I do get it though. I mean, back in like 75 days when you were leveling, like, you were only like weapon skilling like once every 30 seconds at best. Like sometimes upwards of like a minute. Between like weapon skills. Because it took so long to get TP and everything. It was very easy to chat. Now in this game, it's not always easy to be typing on your keyboard. It's just, I mean, since you can potentially be weapon skilling every like 3 seconds. I mean, if you're at max haste and you're built right, you can weapon skill in like 2 to 3 seconds. You can just like spam weapon skills depending on certain situations. Especially if you have a Corsair and they're giving you Sam roll, so you get store TP. I know like some samurais can get to like a 3-hit build with Corsairs in the party. So you're literally weapon skilling, swinging twice. If you get a double hit, you can then immediately weapon skill again. Well, if you're also using window or in third-party programs to do stuff, you could just be chatting while that's playing the game for you. But I mean, if you're like actively hitting macros and tanking and doing stuff, you can't really chat like you used to be able to back in 75 days. Like I said, I can't really speak much into link shells. I haven't really been in any since coming back. Well, that's not exactly true. When I was on Valifor, I was on one for a while, but ever since I've been on Asura, that hasn't been the case. Yeah, Asura. Oh. Sorry, he was asking you. Yay, 2 homes that time. Trying to think if there's a faster way. I don't think that is 2 really the fastest way down there. I don't remember where 3 is. And this doesn't point it out to you on the map like home points do. Yeah, I pretty much do. I've thought about, like, if I get overlays set up and I'm playing 11 to have it. Let's see how long that takes to check. I thought about having it, like, on an overlay, basically being like, I'm on Asura. Because, yes, that is, like, my frequently asked questions. Not just even on streams. I get just asked in videos, too. That is by far my #1 question. It's like, what server are you on? Yes and no. It's not really a thing, but it is, like, people still buy it and use it and play with it, but, the thing about it is it's not item level, and if it's not an item level weapon, it's not really worth it. People will make arguments for TP weapons being worth it, or TP bonus weapons, but at this point you can get so much multi-hit on jobs. This actually seems a little faster. You can get so much multi-hit on jobs. It's multi-hit weapons and occasionally attack whatever weapons aren't really worth it. The only exception I can say is like the 119 Joy Toy, but I think that's the only item level weapon to my knowledge that's multi-hit. Whereas this guy. I don't mind if you do, especially if you're talking to other people and people want to join. I don't personally mind. I do respect you for asking, because that is nice that you're not just assuming, oh, can I do that? But yeah, I don't mind. It'd be great for if you're trying to skill up club. Not sure if it's worth the money, if you happen to have just that extra money around and you're going to turn around and sell it afterwards. Because while, you know, 100 mil is a fair amount of gil, it's honestly not terribly hard. You could casually make that much in like 3 months. And I do mean casually. If you're not spending. Oh, I've seen you around. What was it? You have to get it from, was it Up in Arms, BCNM? I know people do try and farm that BCNM for Crafting Club, and it would probably be to make money. Darkness. It's gotta be E. I'm trying to think, you can potentially make more than that from Alex. Let me see. You can get $17.50 every month. Plus, let's say even once every 3 months, you can get an extra... what is it? Like another 750. So it's 2,500 every 3 months, or 1750 every other 2. Well, would be the 2,500 1 month, and then 2 months with it not, because of what you can get from gallantry. And I've sold it as much as for 7K right now. So if we did that. Yeah, that's, so if it was the month where you can get most, that's, and you're selling it for 7K, which might be standing by the NPC where you turn Alex in for your mythic for maybe a couple days to sell it at that rate. It's possible, but if you did, that's 17.5 mil right there. If it's just this. So if it's not the month where you can get Alex from gallantry, that's 12 mil. So I mean, it all depends what you're selling it for, but yeah. And that's just the Alex. That's not even if you're trying to sell the heavy metal plates, HP Baled, Rift Cinder, Rift Dross. You can just make a boatload of money from just Ambuscade by itself. Basically, that's basically my moneymaker is Ambuscade and or the crystals you can get from what's it called? From Omen. So I'll go in and solo Omen, do it on Thief, and I'll sometimes get 10 crystals in one run. So if I happen to do really well, say I get 40 crystals, they're currently selling for what, 200k, so 40 crystals. It's easy math, I should be able to just know that in my head. I mean, that's 8 mil right there. It is a long time though, because it's almost like an hour run when you're soloing it. Like 50 minutes. But yeah, making gills easier than ever, and that's not even counting sparks. Because while you're doing all that, you should be making sparks just from doing things, and then you turn around and, you know, NPC the shields, that's even more money. Unity NMs is a great way to make money. Doing whatever's the current event is another great way to... There's just so many ways to make money in the game right now. It's making gills an utter joke. Back in the 75 days, there were times it could definitely be a challenge. Especially to make gil easily. Like, you could always make gil if you wanted to grind at it, but... now you can make gil hand over fist without even really trying much. Don't have movement speed on. Oh well, thank you. It's probably gonna be a while before I pull it out, and you didn't have to do that, but thank you anyway. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to cycle through. I do need to sit down at some point and burn through all my Sisyphus fragments. And that'll go towards, what is it, the Bard Harp. 4 songs. It's a matter of just having the free time to go and do that. Because then I won't have things sitting in my delivery box for weeks. Again, I did not change my weapon since I have Regain Atmas. Dragon meat. be checking if I got big chests in case I happen to get the key item. Daily job interview. At least, I mean, I haven't CP'd in a while. Most CP parties I've been in, they don't seem to really, you know, give you a job interview too much. I have had some, though, before. It's like, really? You need a ream at a freaking CP? Many key items. How are we doing on time? 19 minutes. If this is any indication, ugh. It's looking like I'm gonna need about 6 more hours of farming this stuff to finish. For this one, if you can have any friends to help hold pop items and pop key items, it definitely would speed it up. Alright, forget it. Kill this guy. And then just move on. Shocked they're not dropping the shield. likes these guys for quite a few. Well, considering I have trust to get paralyzed off relatively fast, so I'm not busy doing other stuff, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not compared to shot spells. Gigas around. Wonder if they depopped? Oh man. Alright, let's see if we can get one more pop in after this. Before I get kicked from the zone. Still whiffed one of my weapon skill swings with decimation. Hey, there's a sprinter shrinking. Ouch. Fair number of one single drops today. Do I still have all those power boots? I can't remember if I have them on her. Have them on a mule. Maybe I should do that for next time I'm gonna come out here, especially if I get my inventory cleared out. So back in 75 days and doing Dynamis, like the leader used to have a bunch of power boots that they would hand out and then would get back, you know, at the end of the run, especially for when we were doing Glacier. Because basically we would have a sack party to go up and kill the eye that would pop all the test NMs. And then when I ended up inheriting the Link Shell, I got all the power boots that I would hand out when we did it. Obviously that was from way back in the day. And I still have like all these extra power boots that are like half charged. I should like just have them all on me and just, you know, have like sprint constantly going between NM pops. Try and speed this up. God, I've had those power boots for years now, thinking about it. Minutes to do a pop. Can I do it? Get a Briareus pop. Might help if I was gaining TP. Movement speed would help also. Dirty. What? So I gotta farm a shield. I don't want to pop Briareus without at least a minute left. I don't know if I'm gonna make it back around to him. Maybe it's possible if I get like the key items now. Come out of chests. I haven't even seen a single key item yet. Okay, there's the trick shield. See, will I actually lose hate? Probably not. Probably gonna get a link. Guess maybe not. If you get the message, that means it can't be the prop. We'll never get informed what it is. I didn't get a mystical for that, but that looks clean. I'm gonna assume it's cookie. Get back on my TV here. Yeah. Oh no, we're done. 1 minute. Yeah, 30 seconds. Actually, if that's the case, let me try and farm a shield real quick. Yeah, I ought to see where I have those power boots and try just burning them up. This would be a good place to use them. Wonder if they're actually... Nah, I doubt they're on my main. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to see. But alright, guys. Sadly, it's my bedtime. I don't like my bedtime being this early, but such is the case how my job currently is. Although, it's only going to be that way for a few more months. And then be back to normal times. But, yep, I'm going to wrap things up now. Need to figure out if I want to continue doing this for next stream or if I want to mix it up and do something else. I'm open to any suggestions if you guys want to see me stream some other type of content. But I want to get Almace wrapped up. But I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel. And as always, may you have success in all you do.